Imagine waking up and realizing that most of what you call reality is not the full picture, but a filtered version designed to keep you functional, predictable, safe. Your mind does not show you everything. It shows you what you have learned to expect. And what you expect, you continue to experience. Much of who you believe you are is not a conscious creation. It is a collection of repeated reactions, inherited assumptions, emotional memories, and patterns rehearsed so often they now feel like identity. You are not simply living your life. You are interpreting it, moment by moment, through a lens shaped long ago. But here's the liberating part. If your experience is shaped by interpretation, it can also be reshaped by awareness. Most people search for change in external circumstances, new environments, new achievements, new outcomes. Yet the deeper shift happens when the inner narrator is seen clearly, when thoughts are observed rather than obeyed, when emotional reactions are felt without immediately becoming beliefs. Awareness is not passive, it is transformative. The moment you observe a pattern without identifying with it, you loosen its grip. What was automatic becomes optional. What felt permanent reveals itself as temporary. Your fears are not commands. Your self-image is not fixed. Your past is not a blueprint. Life does not simply happen to you. It happens through the way you perceive and respond. And here's where many people become confused. They try to change their lives through effort alone. They visualize, affirm, repeat intentions, and push themselves toward a new future, while their deeper emotional baseline remains unchanged. Outwardly, they declare possibility. Inwardly, their body rehearses limitation. The nervous system remembers what the mind tries to forget. It holds emotional states like familiarity, even when those states are painful. What feels familiar often feels safe, and what feels safe is repeated. This is why the same patterns return, wearing different faces. The same emotional loops replay, despite genuine effort to move beyond them. Reality reflects consistency, not intensity. It mirrors what is lived most often, not what is wished most strongly. So the turning point is not force, it is coherence. Change begins when you notice what your body is actually practicing throughout the day. The subtle contractions, the expectations of disappointment, the quiet anticipation of failure, the emotional posture you return to when you are not trying to improve anything. That baseline is the signal shaping your experience. But the moment you become aware of it without judgment, something extraordinary happens. A space opens, reaction slows, choice becomes possible. You begin responding instead of repeating. This is not dramatic. It happens in small moments. A pause before reacting, a breath before assuming, a willingness to feel without escaping. Awareness interrupts momentum. And often, just before a genuine shift stabilizes, discomfort increases. Old reactions intensify, familiar fears grow louder, patterns seem to resurface with greater force. This is not regression. It is the last effort of what is dissolving. Transformation is rarely comfortable because the familiar self equates stability with survival. When that familiarity loosens, the system resists, not because change is wrong, but because change is unknown. The space between who you were and who you are becoming can feel uncertain, disorienting, even heavy. Stay there. That in-between state is not stagnation, it is reorganization. The shift deepens when you stop trying to obtain a different life and begin inhabiting a different way of being. Not pretending, not forcing, simply practicing a new internal posture in small, consistent moments. How would you move if you trusted yourself? How would you respond if you felt grounded? How would you speak if you no longer needed approval? How would you decide if fear were not the reference point? Become that state briefly, then again, then again. Not perfectly, just repeatedly. Over time, what once felt unfamiliar begins to feel natural. The inner climate changes. And when the inner climate changes, perception changes, behavior changes. Opportunities become visible that were previously filtered out. Life reorganizes around the state you live from. Meaning is not delivered by circumstances. It is generated by awareness. Suffering does not only arise from what happens, it grows from the interpretations held onto without question. Freedom begins when you see that your thoughts are events, not authorities. Your emotions are signals, not definitions. Your identity is a process, not a structure. You are not required to believe everything your mind produces. As awareness expands, something softens. Certainty loosens. Compassion increases toward others and toward yourself. You begin to sense that existence is not a problem to solve, but an experience to inhabit fully. Presence deepens life without changing a single external condition. The most profound shift is simple. The quality of your awareness shapes the quality of your experience. Not what you possess, not what you achieve, not what you control. Awareness. When attention is fragmented, life feels fragmented. When attention is clear, life becomes vivid. Moments that once passed unnoticed gain depth. Reactions slow into responses. Fear loses its authority. Identity becomes flexible. Possibility expands. You stop waiting for life to begin and recognize that it has been unfolding within your perception all along. The invitation is not to become someone new. It is to become conscious of who you are being, not through force, through observation, not by escaping reality, by seeing it more clearly. You do not need to perfect this process. You only need to return to awareness more often than you return to autopilot. And one day you notice something quietly remarkable. You are no longer trying to change your life. You are living from a different center. The world did not suddenly transform. Your relationship to it did.